Well, we are joined once a week here on 12 News Now at 4 by Rhode Island's Education Commissioner Angélica Infante-Green. Commissioner, thanks again for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So today, the pilot program for surveillance testing in the K-12 school system began in Central Falls at the Ella Risk Elementary School. Can you tell us what was the participation rate, how many folks participated, and what did the school find?
So we had over 100 participants in the school, and right now we're waiting to hear back the results because what we did is that we administered two different types of exam. The one that you get back in 15 minutes and then the PCR. So we want to make sure that we match the results. So far, what we have seen is very, very low numbers. So we're really excited, but I can't say for sure until we have both tests back.
Did it seem like a lot of folks wanted to participate? I don't know how many students and teachers there are, but I know you said a little over 100 folks participated. Was that the majority of people in the school?
It was a large percentage. Remember, we put this out there last week, so we also had to get permission slips. So that we have to make sure that the people that are the students that are participating are the ones that the parents want them to participate. But it's a large number of the schools, so we're pretty excited about that.
My understanding is that it was only the students and teachers who are physically inside the school who were tested. Why not test the distance learners as well?
Well, because what we're trying to do is also operationalize what this would look like if we went larger scale. How much time would it take? What's the best way to do it? How do we work with the people in the school? Right now, we had the Department of Health helping us. So we're trying to figure all those things out. That's why we were doing it in person.
The people who were not in the school because they were out on quarantine were not tested either. Is it a priority of yours to make sure that as this program continues that those people do get tested, because the folks who are out on quarantine are probably the ones who are most likely to test positive?
Well, when you're in quarantine, you've gone through the cycle. So they won't be testing positive because they're on quarantine. So they shouldn't be back for 14 days anyway. And that will give us a different type of results. It'll just tell us where they are right then and there. So for us, this is a pilot. We're trying to see what we learn from it, how to enact it. And also, Central Falls has a high number of cases. So we wanted to see what the cases are related, how it relates to the community. And so far from what we're seeing, the numbers are terribly different. There's obviously a lower number at the school level, and we'll have that information when we meet next week. I can give you a detailed report of that.
And speaking of next week, Providence and Lincoln are set to start their pilot program next week?
Yes, correct. Two schools in Providence and then in Lincoln. So we'll start, we'll gather the data. And all this is being done in an effort to think about what second semester is going to look like. Like what does this look like statewide? Do we do random? What does it look like? I think that's what we're trying to put in place.
And so is the goal then by second semester to have this available more broadly in some form or fashion?
Yes, yes, that is what we're hoping to do. And also the one test that you could do, the little credit card one, kids can administer themselves. We just wanted to see how easy is it, how labor intensive. Then also, what do you do if somebody tests positive? What are all those procedures that we need to get in place, so that how do we inform the family? We don't want the other kids in the class to know. We don't want, like, what are those? We have to work out all those procedures.
We are now in day 2 of the 2-week pause. High schools were asked to move to their limited in-person plans. Do you have a sense of how many districts did choose to make that change starting yesterday?
Not many, I will tell you, because they really felt that they had the ability to control. They don't see it in the schools, so they were given the option for the flexibility. Some places were already there, so it's hard to say because it's all over the place in terms of where we are. But the flexibility was important to grant. But they really felt strongly, and I have to tell you, many of the parents felt strongly that their kids should be in school.
With the growing number of cases, and we just hit a new record high for the number of hospitalized COVID patients, positivity rate at 9.5%. At what point do you say the flexibility needs to move beyond just high school? Maybe we say to them, if you choose to go to your limited in person for K through 8th grade, you can do that. Is that something you're considering with these, quite frankly, jarring numbers that we're seeing?
Well, I think that's why we're getting the data from the schools. Our school data has been pretty consistent, so we're keeping that. We're keeping an eye on the numbers. And I think the part that I think I want to remind everyone, I don't close down schools. Right? The Department of Health would have to say, okay, right now we see spread, and this is what we need to do. But we're working very closely with them. We meet every day. Actually, I have a meeting this afternoon with the Department of Health to see what are we looking at? What do our numbers look like? As long as our K-12 numbers look good, we're hoping to keep moving forward. I have to tell you, it's very hard on our kids. Very, very, very difficult.
Moving to a slightly different subject, today the publication The 74 published a piece entitled "A Test Case in Providence: Can Majority White Teachers Unions Be Anti-Racist?" I'm wondering how you would answer that question.
Well, I think I saw the article. I think that there's a lot of things just that have to be addressed that are above just kind of workshops and nibbling around the edges. Because the question is, how are we going to change policy? We have inherently racist policy. We have procedures in place. We have things that really don't benefit the kids. And you have to do a lot of work in order to really work in a community that's very diverse, that is not part of your community, to really support the students that you're working with. We have to believe that the kids can learn and hold them to a high standard. And I think that we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
On that topic of having a lot of work to do, I know your turnaround plan for Providence calls for approximately a 50% increase in teachers of color. The piece in the 74 says the state has yet to substantially move the needle on that. Do you agree with their assessment, and what is the progress on that?
No, and they were really talking about Providence. So I'll tell you that we had our first, we start every year with about 100 vacancies. This year, during a worldwide pandemic, we had less than 30 vacancies. And of those 30 vacancies, of the hires, 34% of them were teachers of color. That is the highest number of teachers of color that we have ever hired in Providence. So that's not correct. So we're excited about that, but we were able to move the days that we can hire. When I talk about what is a policy that is racist, we have to be able to hire. We have to be able to move the needle. We have too many rules and regulations that limit us from what we can do to really make the system successful for kids of color at the end of the day, because that's who's being impacted in Providence school system.
I noticed that your answer to the "Can majority white teachers unions be anti-racist" wasn't a firm yes or a firm no, somewhere in the middle.
Well, so here's how I say this. I think the teachers union is one thing, and the rank and file, the teachers, are something totally different, right? And I make the distinction because I have worked and continue to work with very strong teachers who want to make a change, who want to see things differently. The union is a different entity. If the union wants to make change, it has to start with the contract. That's the place that we have to start, because when we are limited, when our hands are tied behind our back, um, it's problematic. It's problematic, and we can't protect the status quo. We just can't. We're not in that place, and we've shown the world that Rhode Island can actually do good work if we put aside what our politics are. I think everybody wants to do the best that they can. Unions, teachers, everyone. I will tell you that it's more than just having meetings. It's more than just having book clubs. It's really, really looking deep. In our hires now at Providence, everybody has to take an anti-bias training, everyone, before they begin work in the district. We've made that commitment, and it has to come through in many different aspects of it. So to answer the question, that's a very complicated question. It's not a yes or no question. It's about, are you really going to put in the work? That's what it comes down to. It's very nice to say we're for kids, we're for the community of color, or you wouldn't do this. Just putting those words into sentences doesn't make it any different than what it was in the past.
I also wanted to ask you today, Commissioner, about the launch of this new statewide educational access portal called Enroll-RI. What exactly is that?
I'm so excited about this, Kim. Enroll-RI is this new platform that we have for families, where families can make informed choices. They can explore educational opportunities in Rhode Island. I know that some districts have this, but we've never had it as a state. So parents can go in and look at charter school options. They can look at CTE programs. So that's very exciting for us. Starting today, the charter school applications will be open until March. Our CTE programs are live, so you can view them prior to the application process. So parents have an opportunity to look, to learn. In January, this is really exciting. All Course Network, and or as we know it, the ACN, will launch its application to expand options for digital, hybrid, and in person. What does that mean? It's an incredible opportunity for our kids to have school enrichment, work based learning, career preparation, dual enrollment, advanced placement for K to 12 for the first time ever. We're doing that statewide and in this medium. So we're really excited. Even though there's a lot of things happening right now in terms of COVID, we're still moving forward with innovation, with work, trying to make things are accessible to families. And we're here to support and succeed. And that means that we want to give the parents the resources that they need, as well as the students and the teachers.
Should we take this as a sign that you're looking to further expand charter schools?
No, I mean, what you should take this as a sign as bringing tools and resources to parents. I believe in parents having choices, parents having the ability to make informed decisions. I don't know what's best for every parent, but I know that my responsibility is that parents have the information that they need so that their student or their child can get the best education possible. Remember, I'm responsible for all schools, right? And charters are public schools. So we held them to a very high bar. For the first time, we closed a charter school last year. So I'm holding everybody up to a very high bar, and I want parents to have choices that will excel, that will allow their students to excel.
Commissioner, we covered a lot of ground today. Anything else you'd like to add or let people know or thinking I'm neglecting to ask?
No, I think that I want to thank all the parents and the students and the teachers for all the hard work, for being diligent, for making it happen, for making sure that our kids and our staff are safe. I have to tell you that I'm really grateful. We just celebrated Thanksgiving, and I'm grateful to be here in Rhode Island. Um, I just feel very blessed, and I thank each and every one of you.
Commissioner, thank you so much.
Thank you.